Good evening, everybody. I am coming to you probably the last time before Election Day. Election is Tuesday, November 5th. We need everybody to go to the polls. Just going to give you a last couple of things that I want to kind of reiterate before those of you that have not voted go vote on Tuesday. Um, my opponent is continuously citing the 22-23 school year data, um, which did show that we had some low performance then. But in 23-24, which was last year, our data improved significantly. He's saying that we are a low performing district, which we're no longer a low performing district. He is trying to, in my opinion, mislead people in order to get votes. But that's not how you get votes. You get votes by telling the truth and telling what your platform is. You don't try to run on previous stuff, as far as old data. If it was relevant today, that would be something different. But that's not relevant today because our kids are performing well. The 2023-2024 data shows that we have had 9 schools to increase a letter grade. We had 5 schools to exceed growth. All of our schools increased proficiency scores, and we have a 4-year cohort graduation rate of 90.3%. Those are the things that you should be focusing on if you want to get a true and accurate picture of what our school system is doing. Not trying to make the school system look bad. Give the true picture. He keeps going back to COVID and how it hurt the kids. Well, it hurt all kids all over. But the thing is that we bounced back from that, and those kids are now doing well. And our 4-year cohort, like I said in one previous video, that those kids were in the ninth grade at the beginning of COVID, which have graduated now. And that 4-year cohort rate of 90.3% graduation rate that I just told you about are those kids. Okay. So I think they made tremendous strides. The kids that are in school now is showing you by the data that I just told you about how we increased and everything. They're showing that those kids have bounced back. So it's not a good thing to try to scare people by telling them things that are not relevant today. We need to talk about things that are relevant today. So those students recovered well. And again, he's saying that we kept school closed for 198 days. And as I stated before, there are only 180 days in a school year. And, furthermore, we were closed down by the state from March to June. So we didn't close the schools. Again, trying to mislead the public. Um, Said that we didn't respond to people during COVID. I responded to those people who contacted me directly, and if they emailed the whole board, then, we can't respond as a whole board. But those that contacted me directly, I responded to those. Um, I just don't agree with trying to make the district look bad. Our superintendent and his administration have done an outstanding job with our school district, and we are very proud of the work that they've done. Another thing is he's saying that teachers are overburdened, they're overworked, or something to that. I don't understand what that means. I mean, if he's talking about lesson plans, as I told before, yes, our administration does require teachers to prepare lesson plans. How can you teach if you don't have plans? You got to have lesson plans. That's not a thing that the board decided. That's what the administration decided, and I actually think that's a great thing. Talked about Pete. He said that teachers weren't prepared when they go into the classroom. That they're something to the effect that they're not told the whole story, and they get in there and it's not what they expected. Well, let me put this out there: our teachers go through new teachers, what we call beginning teachers, go through a whole week of beginning teacher training before they ever go into a classroom. and the administration does a great job in preparing them. But like all jobs, when you get on it, you still going to be learning. I don't know anybody that's ever went on a job and it was exactly what they expected. There's some things that are different, and you're going to continue to learn as you grow. I went to the beginning teachers orientation at the end of the orientation. I'm sorry, at the end of the orientation, they had a little luncheon, and I listened to those teachers talk about how excited they were to get in the classroom, what good training they had for that whole week. And that's what we want. And we want to hire the best teachers. And I think our administration does a good job of doing that. We have a great working relationship with our county commissioners. He talked us about something about needing a plan. Well, every year we have to submit a strategic plan to the county commissioners so they will know what our needs are. And, as a result of that, they work well with us. So I don't know what was meant by us not providing the plans. You have to do that every year. We have to submit our strategic plans. My opinion is if you don't know how things work, then you shouldn't comment on them. Stick to what you know. And then he talked about the COVID and how it affected children. Listen, I had two children in school during COVID myself. So our decisions affected them as well. I wouldn't do anything intentionally that's going to harm my own children. So, I wouldn't do anything that's going to harm anybody else's. And my wife also works in the school system as a principal. So any decisions that we make even today will affect her. So again, I don't know why they keep putting out there that you think you should currently have children in the school system in order to be an effective board member. Listen, I worked for Lenore County Public Schools for 3.5 years before I even ran for the board. I was the Safe School and Dropout Prevention Coordinator for the whole school district. So I know how schools work. I know how the school system works. Being a board member, you're still learning. If you're not learning as a board member, then you're stagnant. But by working in the school system as a safe school coordinator, I put one thing that I put in place that I think that most schools still use now is the identikid. When you go into schools, you have to sign in, and they give you a little sticker to put on with your picture and your name on it. That's something that I instituted when I was working for the school systems, part of safety. I used to go around and do school inspections, safe school inspections. I would have a team come down from the state to go to certain schools and do school walkthroughs with me. All that because I think they talked about school safety. I think now with the way that we have set up a lot of our schools by having to go in and there's between getting in the front building into the building, you have to stop. You can't just walk in and go straight into the school system and school building. So that's some of the things we put in place. We have SROs that are at our schools. Somebody asked, do we think we need more? Listen, we could always use more SROs, but guess what? You got to have funding to do that. And some of the grants that we have obtained um, does not allow for the money to be used for SROs. A lot of it is just used for equipment. So, when you talk on things, you got to be knowledgeable of what you're talking about. Yes, we definitely could use more SROs, but, help us lobby the state for more money to do that. So, that's something that I think we could use, but again, it takes funds in order to do that. So, I wish that my opponent would, and as far as I know, really, it's just one that's talking about this stuff. But I wish he would know what the facts are before he just starts talking. What I'm trying to give you is the school system today, how the school system looks today, not how it looked 22-23 school year. I want you to know how it looked 23-24 school year because that's where our last report card comes from that shows all the improvements that we've done. So when you are making your decision about who you're going to vote for, if you haven't already voted, when you vote on Tuesday, I hope that you will keep in mind the facts and not listen to the rhetoric. You shouldn't try to scare people into voting. You shouldn't try to rehash old feelings about what happened 4 years ago to get people to vote. You should have your own platform, you know, and that's what I'm running on, my own platform. The things that we've done since I've been on the board. I think our school system's moving in a great direction. I think that if you keep the current board intact, you will still be pleased with what the school system is doing. Again, we try to hire the best people possible to keep the school system moving forward. And we've done that, I think, by hiring one of the best superintendents in the state. As a matter of fact, he was the state superintendent of the year a year or two ago. And then he surrounded himself with good staff, good administration, and they do a great job. So when it's time to vote on Tuesday, please keep in mind the facts and don't listen to the rhetoric, because the rhetoric is out there just trying to scare you, stoke up old feelings that you may have had 4 years ago in order to get you to vote. That's not the way you should vote. You should vote on what the facts are and what how things are now. If you are pleased with the way the school board is running now, as far as we're growing, great. The other thing that I keep hearing is parent engagement, and our parents are engaged to the point that they want to be. And I said in the previous video that our schools do a great job of having parent nights. We know that some parents work evening shifts, so they have some sessions set up during the day for those. They talk about engaging parents. We do that. And I want to pledge to you today again, if you contact me directly, I absolutely will respond to you. Okay. Because there's been said that we don't respond to parents. If there's any parent out there that I haven't responded to, let me know. But anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. Just want to come on before you vote on Tuesday and reiterate some of the facts, and hopefully that you will take that in account when you go and vote on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, vote to re-elect Merwin K. Smith, the Lower County Board of Education at large. Thank you, and have a great rest of your evening.